What are your thoughts with affirmative action?
The details matter when it comes to affirmative action, right? So I'm sure I benefited from it, and I needed it. I was a hot mess when I showed up on a college campus, and there was more potential than my test scores would have shown because of what it took to get those test scores. Now, my daughters, if my daughters need affirmative action, it's not because they face systemic bias, it's because they suck, right? Like, we put everything into them, right? I'm sitting, this morning, getting ready to come here. My wife texts me a link to a video with my 7-year-old playing the piano. It was awful. And I thought to myself, see, every passion is explored. Club soccer, piano, horseback riding. They're bad at them all.
But she could eat brie cheese like a champ.
Like a champ.
Yeah.
Trust me. Okay? Trust me.
Yeah.
But we do everything we can to make sure that whatever passion they have is watered, is nurtured. And so and they go to the best schools that we can afford. And so if they get to the end of that journey and they need lower standards, that is not okay, right? Now, on the other hand, if you take a kid from the inner cities or from Iran or wherever in the world, and they have slightly lower test scores but went through the shit to get them, that person's got more talent. And if you put them in a university and free them up from those constraints of their community and maybe their neighborhood, maybe even their own parents, I believe they can flourish. So for me, it is all about finding people with the highest latent talent. And that doesn't always show up in test scores. So having this blind, like, I just take the person with the highest SAT, I think that's wrong too. On the other hand, taking people who are from affluent families with low test scores who haven't had that kind of struggle, that's also wrong. And so I think it is all about the details, and the way we're doing it now is just lazy. It's not correct.
You think long-term, the current model of the educational system is going to be disrupted so bad that these physical type of locations may one day no longer be around?
That's a big idea. I don't know, because there's still a big effect from going to these places. Maybe it's less than it was 10 years ago. I don't know, but it is, particularly for minorities. And so I think that, of course, it will be disrupted. Of course it will. The question is what it will look like in 25 years. I don't know. My guess is there still will be a substantial in-person presence in the same model we see now.
Have you seen the numbers that came about that shows who AI will be affecting the most negatively?
I haven't. They put those numbers out like every day, right? Remember, it was going to be truck drivers 5 years ago. Truck drivers look safe. Maybe data scientists are not. Software engineers might not be. But show me the list. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it was actually just came out, Rob, and I think Brandon has it. The link between AI and who gets impacted the most. By the way. Impacted the most. Do you have that? It's literally a chart, Rob, that shows, it's an image that shows which people with what kind of degrees and higher education, lower education, who gets affected by AI the most. It's not that one. Brandon has it. If you want to have Brandon text you, I don't know if Brandon's listening or not, he can send it to you. But the people that were affected the most by AI, there it is. I just found it. Here we go. Let me send this to you, Rob. Just pull this up right there, if you can pull that up. Look what I just sent you. Just pull that up and you'll see it. Numbers are surprising. It breaks down ethnicity, men, women, sex. Do you see it, Rob?
And this is for the future, Pat? Like, this is what's coming down the pipe?
And by the way, this is coming from Pew Research.
Okay.
What shares of workers are most expected to AI, are most exposed to AI in their jobs? Okay, zoom in a little bit more, Rob. I know it's going to be, zoom in a little bit more. So men, 17, women are more. Women get more degrees than men do. Whites, high, blacks, 15, Hispanic, lowest, Asians, the highest. They're going to be affected by it the most. Less than a high school diploma, they're not going to be affected.
Because they're working on cars and stuff.
High school grad, 12%. Some college, 19. Look at bachelor's plus. So the people that are going to college are going to have the biggest risk to AI than those who don't, because those jobs will be replaced by AI and somebody doing it. So I wonder what's going to happen with college. And the reason why I asked that question, and what does that have to do with affirmative action? Because is the idea of all those things you talked about. Okay, allowing kids to go to school, the lady that paid $600,000 or whatever it was for her daughter to go to school, and then she got exposed, and, daughter's embarrassed, she's embarrassed. Sex in the City, it was one of the girls. Yeah. I don't know what her name is. And then, boom, we all know about it, right? And we all read about it. Imagine that kid, every job she ever gets. Aren't you? You're the one, right? Yeah. Okay, of course those people shouldn't get in with, I'm a Hollywood celebrity, I'm a billionaire, let my kid in. She's not that smart, but let her in anyways. I get it. But also, some of these guys that are coming whose parents are more disciplined with education, Asians who are more about, they spend more of their money investing into their kids for education than the average person does. When you look at the data in some of these places, some 25% of their income is invested back into their kids' education from K through 12, not even like just in college, what the data is, right? So you're thinking affirmative action, the concept of capitalism doesn't apply to affirmative action all across the board.
No. I didn't say that at all. In fact, what I described is much more market-based. The thing is, the market is connecting with not just an SAT score, but an innate ability, right? That's harder to measure. And so to get that innate ability, yes, of course, SAT scores are part of that, but the life journey it took to get those SAT scores is also important.
For sure, because a person who's lived a harder life that they overcame, I would much rather hire that person, because that person is going to be able to handle tough times and be mentally or emotionally tougher than the other person is.
I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party.
Tulsi Gabbard says she is no longer a Democrat. A potential Tulsi Gabbard VP.
Where we are being told that we just have to comply and go along with whatever they say. American people are smarter than this. However, we must remain vigilant to recognize their propaganda for what it is, pure lie. Unfortunately, we live in a time where free speech is under attack. Whatever they say goes, and we have to just follow. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology. Taking on Kamala Harris on a debate stage before, I would look forward to doing that again.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.